As I said earlier, importing is the first step in your workflow, and with it comes organization, simply because you have to choose a place to import your images to. There are many ways to import your images. You can simply use your computer's operating system to copy the files from your camera's media card to your computer, and that approach does work with Lightroom, or you can let Lightroom handle the copying for you. You'll need a card reader, either one that attaches to your computer or one built into your computer. You can also plug your camera directly into your computer, effectively turning it into a card reader. However you end up performing the copy, the images have to be imported into Lightroom, and here's why. Lightroom is more than just an image editor, it's also a database. When you import an image into Lightroom, Lightroom stores the location of that image in a record in its database. That record also contains all of the keywords that you apply to the image, the ratings, the edits that you make, and it also stores small preview images. Those preview images help Lightroom display thumbnails faster and allow you to do work on your images even when the original file isn't around. That's great if your work requires you to travel and you need to take a large image library with you. Having this database also means that Lightroom is incredibly fast at making searches. This becomes more important as the years go by and your library grows. If, for example, you've done a good job of keywording your images, then you can say, Lightroom, show me all the images with a keyword of landscape, and it will almost immediately show you the relevant images. Lightroom lets you search on any property of an image, file type, the camera you used, the lens you used. You can search for images with a particular aperture or shutter speed, and you can do all of this incredibly quickly because of Lightroom's built-in database. When you import, Lightroom can automatically add keywords that you specify. It can add your copyright information. It can even apply adjustments that you specify. Whether you let Lightroom handle the copy process or you do it yourself, you still have to decide where to put the images on your drive, which means you need to have some sort of organizational scheme. Here's the problem with coming up with an organizational scheme. Let's say you decide to organize your images on your drive into folders based on events. So, trip to France, parents' birthday, and so on. Years from now, you might think, I need that image that I shot on the trip to France, and you'll know right where it is, which is great. The problem is that just as often you'll think, I want that shot of my parents in the kitchen, and you won't remember which event holds that image. So you'll have to dig through lots of events to find the picture you want, or maybe you simply want a collection of all the pictures of your parents. If they were both in the kitchen at one time and in France at another, then what? Do you reorganize? Do you create duplicate images? The point is that in the long run, there is no single organizational scheme that is right for all of the ways that you'll ever want to sort and organize your images. Fortunately, because of Lightroom's database-driven approach, how you organize the original files isn't that important because you can so easily perform searches and create virtual albums of images within Lightroom. Lightroom provides its own view of the folder hierarchy of your drive. You can easily navigate your folders to see their contents, and that's what we're seeing here. I have a drive called Warehouse, and inside that is Images, and inside that I have all of these different folders. Now, I use a location and time-based organizational scheme for a couple of reasons. I find that it's just a very basic organizational scheme, and Lightroom can automate the process of creating it for me. So I tend to create folders based on location. Here I have California, Death Valley, Italy, London, Mexico. These grayed out ones are indicating that those particular images are not currently on the drive that I have, and that's because I'm traveling. Again, this is something that's cool about Lightroom. Even though I don't have these images here, I can still see thumbnails of them and work with them. So I've got these location-based folders. I do still have some event-based folders, motorcycle rides, street shooting, things that I know that I'm going to go back to regularly. I do build folders that have some event names. Within those folders, everything is organized by year. So I've got separate folders for each year, and within each year folder, I have separate folders for each day. The reason that I do it this way is it's as good a way as any other for organizing images, but also because Lightroom will automatically create these folders for me when I import. As you're going to see in a minute, the import dialog provides options for automatically creating subfolders based on a date. So ultimately, at the lowest level, all of my images are actually just organized by the date that they shoot on. Because Lightroom is automatically handling the creation of these individual date folders, I can very quickly have images into the right locations when I import. Later, if I want to create an album full of images from lots of different folders, lots of different locations, I can easily do that here by creating a collection. Here you see something called collections. These are virtual albums. They simply store copies of images or references of images from other folders and locations in my library. Lightroom can also automatically name images when I import, but I actually don't ever bother with that for the simple reason that I don't ever look at or deal with the actual file names of my images. I search by keywords or other metadata. I recognize the image that I want by looking at its thumbnail. File names are simply irrelevant in Lightroom. However, if your work requires you to name images a particular way, then Lightroom can help automate the naming of files. Now, if you're worried about making the wrong decision with your organizational system, don't, because Lightroom can also work as a file manager. If I move an image or a folder full of images within Lightroom, it gets moved on my original drive. So I can pick up this folder and drop it inside of another one. I can take an image and move it to another folder. Not only will that rearrange things within Lightroom, it will move all of the original files. I keep 3 kind of top-level folders in my library. I have images, snapshots, and work. Images is for my personal work. Work is for my commercial work, and snapshots are just for those everyday pictures that aren't fine art photographs and aren't work. Within those, I keep subfolders, as I explained earlier. Let's take a quick look at the import dialog, and you can see where these things are going to happen. I pick a source over here. I pick a destination over here, and I have a number of different options over here. Like I said, I can choose to rename files if I want. I can actually apply keywords as I import, which saves me some keywording steps later. I can, in my destination, choose to automatically create subfolders, in this case organized by date in this format. All of this is taken care of by Lightroom. So this is a very, very easy way to work. Again, there's no correct organizational scheme, and thanks to Lightroom's tools, there's no reason to worry about getting it all exactly right the first time. You can always reorganize later.